All right, B. B is for breakthrough number. Not a very sexy name, but a really cool concept. If you want to take a handle on your finances, kind of a back of the envelope, quick number that you need in order to determine the revenue that you need to bring into your business. Really powerful if you are getting ready to do some reinvestments and growing. You can move numbers in and out of each of these sections, these 4 walls, and figure out, if I buy more inventory, what is that spend going to look like? If I do this, it's a nice tool for just understanding what you need to generate each month. So the first wall is your critical operating expenses, your fixed expenses, rent, utilities, internet, phone, access to buyers. How can people find you? How can they get to you? Why is this number 1? Why is this wall 1? Well, you can have the most gorgeous inventory in the world. If you fail, you pay your rent and they lock you out, you can't sell that gorgeous inventory. Okay. So access to buyers, number 1. Internet, phone, I consider those as well because that's how people can find you and do business with you. Wall 2 would be critical operating expenses. So for us, propane to run our roasters is a critical operating expense. No propane, no roasting, no coffee going out. But it is not a fixed expense. It is not how people find us. It's just something we need to run our business. It's critical to our operations. So critical operating expenses can be anything depending on your industry. I have a friend of mine, she's a private investigator. She has to have a certain LexisNexis database that she pays for. Non-negotiable. She has to have it. That's a critical operating expense. She can't transact business without it. Number 3 is inventory or product spend. If that's something that you have, if you're a lash tech, if you don't restock lashes, you can't do your services. If you are a coffee roastery and you don't buy inventory, but how much inventory do you need? How much are you sitting on? I could do a whole thing on inventory turn and stuff. I'm not going to, but wall 3 is estimating or putting in the numbers that you want to spend on inventory, allowing you to, check numbers against different buyers and things like that, different vendors. Wall 4 is your, payroll expenses. This includes the owner's paycheck. So if you're somebody who just takes what's left over at the end of the month, I'm going to encourage you to get on a W-2 as soon as possible. Let your business pay half of your payroll expenses instead of you paying all that as the self-employed. So wall 4 allows me to know, when can I bring in a new person? What is it really going to cost me? I might say I'm paying somebody $12 an hour, but actually by the time I pay for workman's comp, unemployment, FICA, Social Security, and everything else, it might actually cost my business $16 an hour. You should know that number. Very easy to miscalculate how much your labor costs are if you're not including things like workman's comp or things like that. So put that in there, break it down, and have a real good number of what your labor costs are. Depending on the industry, each of these walls could be a certain percentage, right? So for some industries, you want wall 1 to maybe be 20%, wall 4 to maybe be even as high as 35%. Depends on what it is that you're doing. But it allows you to use this as a planning tool financially, and it also gives you a number that you need to generate revenue to just cover the basics. These are the 4 things. Doesn't include marketing, doesn't include projects, doesn't include any of those other things. To me, those are outside. Why are they outside? Because you can do business without Facebook ads, okay? But you can't do business if you don't pay your internet bill. It's the way I think about it. Anywho, so I wrote a book on it, the Profit Accelerator for Small Business, a couple of years ago. I invented it back in 2019. I've taught it a little bit. This comes before Profit First. So if you're familiar with the Profit First and how you would take the revenue and break it all up or whatever, this is actually the number that you need before Profit First, because once you cover all of these things, you should be getting into profit. It can also help you figure out your margins. You can run certain numbers into each of these things and use it as a tool to plan out where you want to invest next. Anyway, B, breakthrough number. I'll see you at C.